Hello and welcome to Precision TV. If you're joining me for the first time, you know the drill. Subscribe, hit the like button, comment below. Let's get some good conversation going. As I've said, there's no BS over here. Get to the facts, analyze the facts, and we come to real solutions to real problems. Well, as you can tell, I'm in a New York fitted kind of mode today. But unfortunately, what we're going to be talking about today is a little serious. You know what I'm saying? And there's a bit of sadness to it, and at the same time, there's a bit of understanding and conclusion. So there's a little bit of everything here. You know what I'm saying? But as much as I'm in a New York fitted kind of mode, what I'm going to be talking about is not going to be New York related, not even, U.S. related, but it happened in a little further south, on the island of Grenada. On June 18th, over the summer, a young man was discovered dead on one of the beaches in the south of the island. And then when that happened, of course, there was grief and there was shock and passions were high. But unfortunately, no one took the time to just let the facts play out. But instead, what happened is that you had a situation where, as you can see from the headline here, it says, "My gentle, joyful friend was killed because of who he was. The queer community's fight is far from over." And we understand. Everybody was probably hurting. People were upset. And this probably is, based on, it looks like this was, a dear friend of the young man that, was murdered. So I understand. But if you look at this is on, British Vogue. You see what I'm saying? And what we have to understand, sometimes when we jump to conclusion as to the motive why certain things happen, it can have, and then we publish those conclusions, it can have far-reaching consequences. And especially in an island like Grenada, which by and large depends on tourism as a major source of income for the country. So something like that would come across as some sort of, bashing of gay and homosexual people in Grenada, and could, to a very large extent, could have tarnished the image of Grenada and Grenadians, and in some respect could have jeopardized the whole tourist industry. So I am happy that, thank goodness, for the vigilance, for the professionalism of the RGPF, that is, the police establishment down there, that didn't jump to any conclusions. But again, because of their professionalism, they followed the facts, and everything that was done was based on evidence, and they didn't run into a rabbit hole. You know what I'm saying? So we've got to give them credit for that. My hats off to them for taking their time to get this done properly. And, I respect Mr. Cowan. He was patient with the media. And I understand that, this was a situation that was, in some respects, put a lot of pressure on him. He dealt with it properly. And again, a lot of the times we're so quick to condemn, and we're so quick to talk about the negative. But in this particular case, we have to highlight the positive. And the positive is that the RGPF handled this very professionally, did what they had to do, and here we are. There is, in some respects, a bit of conclusion to this matter, and I'm sure there's some sort of relief on, in terms of the family. I know that they're probably still hurting, and of course, we understand, but I'm sure it's not going to be an entire closure, but there is some sort of limited closure that at least someone can be or will be held accountable for this. But again, we can't ignore the fact that you had a bunch of internet sleuths who was all over the place, making allegations about who did what and who didn't do. You see what I'm saying? And there were even allegations, which is, it's frightening. There were allegations to even, in some respects, the upper echelon of the society. You know what I'm saying? And that is dangerous, because then, especially in this time of, social media and stuff like that, that you can be quick to jump to conclusions, and then you spread that information on social media, and what happens? You tarnish people's image, and that is not a good thing. So what I'm hoping is that for all that was said and all that was published, that we will do Grenada and Grenadians some sort of justice by recanting some of the stories, by in some way, as much as we were eager to publish, motives and stories, that we should be as eager to at least apologize to the people of Grenada and to Grenada as a whole. You see what I'm saying? I think something like that is definitely in order. So for all you internet sleuths, next time you want to embark on some sort of detective work, one thing you should understand is 9 out of 10 of the times that a crime is committed or someone is murdered, it is usually someone that they know. So the idea of, someone hurting you, some crazed stranger hurting you, is actually minimal compared to the people that you know. That's why in most cases, you would see that the first person they'll talk to is your significant other. And then they will start to work outwards from that. You see what I'm saying? And I learned that from, this lady was a brilliant, teacher, and from fundamental criminology courses. And Miss Makahari, she was just really brilliant and dismissed a lot of misconception that we have about crime and, and stuff like that. So remember that. Just probably you guys should, lay off the detective work and take it easy and let things play out before you jump to any conclusions. I just cannot emphasize that too much. But again, usually everybody wants to, jump on a bandwagon, and they want to be part of some particular, wave. Everybody wants to belong to something. Hopefully, as I said, we handle things and do things a little differently. And based on what we've heard so far from the police, they have said that they have someone in custody who was an acquaintance of the young man. So it would be further interesting to see how this is played out in the indictment. So as is usually the case, this was someone that this young man knew that sadly did this to him. We had an expatriate, Yvette Noel. I understand how she probably felt that, hey, something happened to a friend of mine, and I need to do whatever it takes to try to put some pressure on the government of Grenada or the police force to try to get this solved immediately. And she apparently teamed up with Tyler Perry and offered a reward, which is standard, which is good. But again, this was done on some sort of tip like, hey, Grenadians bashed and killed this young man because of who he was, or as they would say, because of his orientation. And again, I'm sure in some respects they probably had good intention, but I think it's a good old book that says we should be slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to anger. So I hope in all of this there's some sort of, lesson for all of us, that when situations occur again, let's not jump to conclusions, but let's wait, especially without any evidence. Let's wait till the story plays out, and then we can definitively know what occurred. Because the damage is already done in some respects. You know, there are people that probably might not see the conclusion to this matter. But what they would have seen, because it would have been highlighted all over the place and it would have been a big thing on social media, they're going to remember Grenada being associated with this particular situation, and the implication and the suggestion was that, hey, there's some sort of intolerance in Grenada for people of that particular orientation. They're not going to see the conclusion to this matter. So that's why I think it's the honorable thing to do for all the people who went ahead initially and basically asserted motives that were not actually true in this case. I think the onus is on them right now to why don't they flood social media with the conclusion to this matter? Why don't they accept responsibility and say, look, you know what, we were wrong, and we apologize to the people of Grenada for what was alleged. And for some reason, I just don't believe that they would be as hasty to do that. I don't think they would be as motivated to do that. And you see, that's the problem in the world today. And that's why so much so people are so distrustful of elites, and in particular global elites worldwide. Because a lot of the times when unfortunate situations like this occur, what you have happening is there are people who are quick and eager to use those particular situations for their own political agenda and for whatever other agenda they may have. And what it does a disservice to the very people that they claim to love and care about. Sadly, that is the fact. Again, I'm going to make this one short, and I'm going to say I am pleased that, the RGPF was able to bring some sort of conclusion to this matter. And of course, there's the hope that the family can have some ease with all that it probably has gone through in the last few months. So let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe. We can have some more conversation in this. Don't be afraid to comment. Let me know what you think, and we can discuss some more. Saturday, enjoy yourself, relax from a hard week's work, because I'm going to do a bit of that. Party a little bit tonight, but be safe and take care of yourself. Have fun. Ciao.